What do we want? Pay restoration. How are we going to get it? Strike.
Junior doctors aren't happy.
Junior doctors have begun their latest 5-day strike
over the ongoing pay dispute with the government.
It's their 10th walkout.
This is a big deal. Junior doctors aren't just a bunch of trainees. They make up around half all the doctors in the NHS.
More than 1 million operations have been cancelled.
And whilst the strikes so far have enjoyed strong public support, this has started to fall. Opposition has just been growing and growing.
There's significant waits in A&E. One department's waiting 11 hours.
How many more strikes is it going to take?
So, why are junior doctors back on the picket line?
I think they are the worst possible people.
We've had 26% loss in pay.
Just sit down and talk.
We are hemorrhaging doctors.
It needs to be sorted, it needs to be sorted now.
Okay, let's clear some things up first. What are they actually asking for? We can break this down into 3 key demands. First, a 35% pay increase. Second, agreeing to link future pay to the cost of living. And third, updating the way pay is recommended. But wait a minute, aren't doctors like one of the best paid professions? Well, kind of. On average, junior doctors get around $44,500 a year. First year doctors get a lot less, but this is still around $32,000. At the start of the strikes, there was this claim making the rounds on social media. It said that junior doctors were paid a lower hourly amount than baristas at Pret, but this isn't really true. Only the lowest paid first year junior doctors get paid a similar amount to the highest possible earning baristas at Pret. And for other junior doctors not in their first year, they earn considerably more. Arguably, they should be paid more, but the claim that they're paid less than a barista just isn't true. But there is a good reason they're asking for pay rises. And to understand why, you need to look at this graph. It goes from 2009 up until 2022. Everything above 0 shows junior doctors being paid more than 2009. Anything below shows them being paid less. This is what's happened. Over time, pay has increased. By 2022, pay was almost 17% higher. But what this line doesn't do is account for inflation. If we do, the picture is far different. Junior doctor pay, accounting for the cost of living, has actually kept falling and falling. They've lost 26% of their 2009 salary. This is why junior doctors are asking for a pay rise, to make up for the years they've lost out. Ordinary people have lost out because of inflation, but junior doctors have been hurt much more. They might not be paid the least, but they've seen pay cuts worse than most. This isn't just a problem for junior doctors though. It started to affect the NHS.
And I know 2 registrars who are going to Australia, and I know 2 that have already left.
Canada, back to India, the Middle East, the Caribbean.
Doctor after doctor explaining why they left the UK.
Working week here is actually less than the NHS, which is handy. You're paid more, so that's a pretty good deal.
There's loads of data on this, and we can use it to start to map the problem. In just 2022, 379 doctors moved to Ireland to work, 345 moved to New Zealand, and 939 moved to Australia. They're leaving for many reasons, for better working conditions, higher standards of living, but also because of pay. Take Australia, where a second-year junior doctor can earn upwards of £43,000. Compare that with around £37,000 in the UK. Because of this, since 2010, the number of UK-trained doctors who've left has kept growing. Today, that figure's around 15%, much higher than other similar countries. So, whether you think we should give junior doctors a pay rise, we're going to lose them if we don't. Okay, so clearly there's good reasons we pay junior doctors more. But is it really right they're striking?
I think it's terrible, considering patients and all the other things that they have to cover as their job.
Doesn't it put patients needlessly at risk?
A real hike in the threat to patient safety.
Well, let's look at the data. This is the excess deaths above the usual we expect for the time of year. And this is the period strikes occurred. There's clearly an uptick in deaths. But really, we don't know what caused this. Look just 2 months before. Here there was a massive spike, but there weren't any strikes then. A recent study of the 2023 strikes found that the time to see a doctor, be treated and be admitted were actually shorter during strike action. People in A&E were actually seen quicker during strike days. See, when junior doctors strike, their jobs aren't just left empty. More senior doctors are taken away from their normal roles to plug the gaps. This actually means patients in A&E being treated for emergencies might actually get better care during strike days than on other days. But this does have a knock-on problem.
More than 80,000 operations and appointments being cancelled and rescheduled.
With doctors retasked elsewhere, people's appointments have to be cancelled. And when there's this amount of people waiting for treatment on the NHS, this is bad news. Strikes will only keep pushing this number up and up. Don't get it wrong. Strikes are not the main reason behind this. There's many other reasons that waiting lists have got so bad today. But more and more cancelled appointments certainly aren't helping. So, where do we stand? In 2023, the government did give the junior doctors an 8.8% pay rise, but this has done little to erode the decades of pay cuts they've received. In truth, we're at a bit of an impasse. The junior doctors say they won't negotiate with the government until the government gives them a credible offer. But the government says it won't give them a good offer until the junior doctors take all strike action off the table. All the time this carries on though, junior doctors keep on leaving, and the NHS waiting list continues to tick up.